It's back to school with Dude Robe, and our friends over there want you prepared. So this summer, when you're completely done draining your parents' bank accounts before you head back to junior year of college, remember one thing. All the studying, the books, the knowledge, all of that gets thrown out the window 3 years after graduation. You think everything's all butterflies and rainbows? No. Even back in 2013, when I graduated college, my $100,000 education was trash 6 months out. Okay. What the fuck you think I'm doing slinging Dude Robe ads? You know what I mean? It's not all that's cracked up to be. Listen, the only memories you're going to have from college or high school, according to Zendaya and all of her Euphoria friends, is the parties and the streaking and the naked guy outside of your dorm at 3 a.m. on a Tuesday, okay? And probably the guy you think you want to marry, right? Other than that, the education's out, okay? But wouldn't all of those fond, little fuzzy, but fond moments you had in college be so much better if you, your roommates, and all of the tail you're hooking up with in college could be doing it in a dude robe, okay? Go to duderobe.com today and learn about how their towel lining hooded bathrobes for men and women, Megs loves hers. The robe has stationary waistbands, pockets for all your gadgets, joints, and other school supplies, and it's comfortable and affordable all at the same time. Okay? Head back to school in a dude robe. But listen, don't pay full price. That's silly. Okay? When you go to duderobe.com and use promo code WAD, that's WAWD, you'll get 20% off your order, okay? Call the boys, see who's down, get a Dude Robe order together, and be the freshest kids on campus this year with Dude Robe, okay? Want to flex even harder? Get your Dude Robe with your favorite NBA team's logo, flex right on the back, okay? Get your Dude Robe and use WAD at checkout for 20% off. That's WAWD. The Wad Pod's got your back, staying fresh and clean and stylish on campus all year long with Dude Robe. DudeRobe.com, promo code WAD, 20% off today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 54 of the What Are We Doing podcast. My name's Levi McCurdy and welcome. Listen, this episode's going to be a little different. I've got a bit, I've got some information, and then you're going to get just a full front-on sneak peek, back half introduction to something that we introduced earlier this week. So buckle up. This episode's going to be dope, but it's going to be great, and it's going to be short, and it's going to kind of be weird a little bit, but it's okay because I'm working on some other shit. Tomorrow, guess what, dude? We're talking to Jeff, okay? We've got Jeff. We're calling in, and guess what? It's going to be a fucking conversation. So that episode with Jeff will be on the Patreon as soon as I get it up and it's done and it's ready to go. For all the Patreons, check that out. It's patreon.com/what are we doing. And so that'll take you there. It's only $1. You only need the $1 tier to access everything. The other tiers are just more benefits for you. And if we get there, we'll get there. But if not, the $1 tier just gets you unlocked to those special episodes early. Our bonus episodes every week that we release. We have been releasing some on YouTube. We're not going to release them all. I just recorded another solid one with Paul this morning. So that'll be out on Patreon as well, dude. So Patreon's filling up with content. And speaking of content, we're pushing it out left and right. Okay? It's coming. And listen, so we've got, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we've got yet another children's rights issue on our hands, okay? And it's unfortunate. And, can we not? Can we please? Can we not? Can we not with the thing? I mean, can we not leave the kids alone for, 5 minutes? Is it 5 minutes that we can't leave these kids alone? And, I mean, so every time, and, every time Johnny gets caught giving a hand behind the bleachers in Florida schools now, they've got to call somebody and, the teacher has to get on the phone, they don't say gay bill, and those, that whole thing's weird. It's not called that, I'm pretty sure, but like that's what everyone, and it's like, it's like it's up to the teachers to like say something if they see something, I think is how I understand it. And like those phone calls are weird because it's like, hey, Mr. Smith, yeah, just wanted to let you know, unfortunately, it's my job as a teacher now. We're pretty sure your son's gay. Like, how do you think those conversations are going to go? And so we can't let the kids live anymore. And so we have to start, what we need to do with the kids is we need to start, I think what we should do is we should follow the path of the Australians. I think we should, in the United States, we should do exactly what they're doing in Australia. And I'll tell you why for a couple reasons. And I think you're going to agree with me. You know what I mean? And this girl's got it. Okay. Many kids learn in different ways, some more visual while others absorb information better if they read about it. But everyone learns best when they're comfortable and at ease. And, so far so good on the article, okay? This author gets it, I knew early on that I wasn't a reader, okay? The Harry Potter books, forget it, dude. I'd read a page and then skip 30 and then read a page and then skip 10 and then read a page and skip 3 and then read a page and skip 30 again. And I'd call it done. And I'd tell my parents, hey, I just got done reading this awesome Harry Potter book. Like, what? I can't, I just never comprehend. I read one book in my life. It was called Inside Out by Harry Truman. I rented it from a library once and then lost it. And then I haven't ever been able to find it again. But it was a good book. I think it's about a schizophrenic teenager who's held captive in a coffee shop when it's being robbed at night, I think. And like he needs his meds. And so like things start happening. So, you know what I mean? I read that book, but other than that, that was it. Like maybe Junaby Jones, but other than that, that was it. Like I never read. I don't read now. I don't read books now. We don't have books in this house. There's no books in this house. The only books in this house are the Gary V books that I got for free when, some guy on Twitter sent it to me because everyone bought 30 of them because they wanted a free NFT. For whatever reason. And so, and of course, we've talked about Miss Talby on this podcast 1,000 times. Long story short, I told her, I said, listen, Miss Talby, I'm not reading Of Mice and Men. I am 17 years old. I do not want to read Of Mice and Men. And she said, hey man, you have to read Of Mice and Men. And I said, hey man, I don't. And she was like, don't call me man. My name's Miss Talby. And I said, okay, bitch. And she said, listen, read chapter 1 and then I'm quizzing you. And then after chapter 2, I'm quizzing you again. Then after chapter 3, I'm quizzing you again. You get the pattern? Great. So you know what I mean? So I failed every one of those quizzes, and they were multiple choice. And so, but I think I got less than 25% on each quiz. You know what I mean? That's how bad it was. So she gives us the quizzes and it's like, where did Huck and Finn go to talk about the mouse in his pocket? And it's like A, the barn, B, the river, C, the road, D, the house. And I'm like, fuck if I know, dude. The farm? Maybe? Sure, that's where they went. I made shit up. I guessed. I had no idea. I didn't read it. I couldn't read it. I didn't read it because I didn't comprehend. It didn't make sense to me. So Miss Talby was all like, yo, bitch, you're failing the class. And I'm like, okay, go ahead. Show me and guess what? She made the mistake. I say she made a mistake back then, but now I'm realizing she finally wised up. Because then she showed us the movie before giving us the final test. So I failed all the quizzes, but the class course grade didn't matter because you just had to pass the final test. She showed us the movie, and guess what? I retained every fucking word from that movie instantly because that's just how my brain works. I can watch a movie and tell you exactly what happened, when it happened, how it happened, and exactly in what order and everything else. That's just how it works. I watch YouTube constantly. You know what I mean? So I watched that movie and I aced that test, baby, A+. I threw it back at her as I walked out the class that day and I passed and it was great. And so, you know what I mean? So this school gets it, okay? They're going to let their kids learn the way they want to learn as long as it's comfortable and it puts everyone at ease. Now that I think about it, this makes sense. This makes sense. As long as she's okay, she's not not disrupting the class and she that's just how she learns, okay? So the private school she attends allows her to be nonverbal and act feline, so long as it doesn't become a distraction to the other students. While the school didn't confirm specifics of the teenage girl and her feline things that she does, they did explain in a statement that some of their students display a range of issues, some of which including identity issues and mental health. Listen, the kids have identity issues and mental health. Let's talk about their parent. Let's talk about us. Let's talk about the parents and the kids. I mean, listen, shit. The kids were just locked up for 2 years in a house. They were on Zoom calls trying to keep their eyes open on a screen just to learn like the basics of math. Because let's be honest, like, did your kids learn anything? Like, did your kids learn anything when you fucking, like, when they were on Zoom for 45 minutes over the last 2.5 years? Probably, I guess maybe they did, but like, it's not the best way. Like, they're freaking zombies. Like, our neighbor, like they went through it. Like, it wasn't good. Like, it just didn't work. Like, half the kids didn't do anything. Like, they got A's and passed and graduated anyways. Like, they lost the back half of the last year and a half of school. And it's like, we expect them to not have mental and identity issues and anything else now going back into society after being inside stuck for a year and a half, just talking to their friends on TikTok? That makes sense. You know? That makes sense. Like, the world doesn't work if everyone's homeschooled, you know? And so now it's like, it's the first day of school, and I love it, by the way. I love seeing all the, please keep posting pictures of your kids' first day of schools on Facebook. Shout out to my friends who have their kids going to school for the first day. I see all your photos. I don't know if I like them all, but please keep posting. And by God, please, we're going to report back here. The anticipation of the picture that you post at the end of the school year, of the repost of the one you posted today, and the one you post at the end of the school year to show the difference of your kid and how much they've changed over this, the whole year, because now they're fucking stressed beyond belief because they're in like the first grade. I can't wait for those. I can't wait. May of June of next year. I'm going to be back. We'll be talking about that. Can't wait for those. Anyways, so the school also reportedly described the girl as phenomenally bright. She is phenomenally bright. And a source close to her family explains no one seems to have a protocol for students identifying as animals, but the approach has been that if it doesn't disrupt the school, everyone is being supportive. Everyone's being supportive. But the girl who is like purring and licking herself in Algebra 2 isn't a distraction. That's not a distraction in class. Like is there a special stall in the girls' bathroom with a litter box in it? And like, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started about the hairballs in the hallway problem with Coach Ricky had to deal with last semester. I mean, the girl just yacked up a hairball and Coach Ricky found it. And like, it took him and the janitors like 45 minutes to scrape this thing off of the floor. Like, it was just heavy and slimy and gross. And it was disgusting. You know what I mean? And dude, Megs, Halsey, all of our friends, half the 9 people who watch this podcast, you'll know. You chicks couldn't wear fucking tank tops in high school. They sent you home if you had spaghetti straps and a cami on in high school, because it was too much for us little high school boys to handle. And we would just get way too excited and get way too grabby and get way too bonery in class if the girls, oh my God, wore fucking tank tops to school. Like, what? Do you see what they're wearing now? Like, let alone in Australia, the cat kids. I'd rather the kids in my son's school be fucking cats, dude. Let's go. Bring on the cats. I don't want that, because all roads lead to euphoria. Okay? We got people in the system. We've got principals, teachers, English teachers, and guidance counselors, dude. And guess what? All roads lead to euphoria. Zendaya's paving the way. They've got glow sticks, drugs, alcohol, and they're all wearing crop tops. Okay? Sorry, it's the truth. I'm not, that's just what it is. HBO. It's the blame fucking them, not me. Don't fucking look at me like I'm the fucking weirdo. It's them putting it on the fucking, that's what's happening. That's just what's happening. You know what I mean? Can't handle ourselves. The end of the article is the best part, by the way. And now I'm sure like the people who wrote it, I don't know if they're a bunch of jokesters or like we haven't, but like we confirm that the cat story is real. Okay, that's 100% real. So the end of the article says, there might need to be protocols put in place, though, as more and more students are identifying as animals. Elsewhere in Australia, 4 girls have started walking on all fours and cutting holes in their clothes to make room for tails. While the school there, where it's allegedly happening, denies the claims, one parent said a girl screamed at another girl for accidentally sitting on her tail. I don't know, dude. I'm just the guy. I'm just reporting the news I'm reading. This is what's going on in society. This is what's happening, okay? So now, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. I have to run because I have to prepare my episode with Jeff. That is going to be on our Patreon soon. Head on over there, patreon.com/whatarewedoing, and you will see that episode up soon. You know what else is on our Patreon, dude? The first episode of Recap and Record, okay? Go check that out. It's going to be dropping, I think, every Tuesday. I'm pretty sure it'll be dropping every Tuesday. But Recap and Record is an all-new podcast with me and Los, the host of the 280 Plus podcast. If you guys know, you know. Head on over there, check out the 280 Plus podcast and our new venture together, Recap and Record. The full episode is on our Patreon page. You get that unlocked, of course, right now. That was up a week ago. And it's up on YouTube, Twitter. There's clips. There's everything. Recap and Record. You can follow us on Twitter as well. Recap and Record has a Twitter. It's at recap_pod. So that's where we'll be. This first season, we are recapping the new House of the Dragons by Game of Thrones on HBO. So please go check that out. And if you like Game of Thrones, if you like review shows, check that out. We're on Spotify. We just got launched on Google Podcast. I think Apple is coming soon. It's not there yet, but the links will be up as soon as they are. We're on Anchor, so just search Recap and Review on Spotify. Find us on Twitter. It's easier that way. We've linked out to pretty much everything so far, so you can check out the YouTube channel there too. I'll have everything for that as well linked in the description of this video. So the rest of this episode is going to be the back half of episode 1 of Recap and Record, featuring me and my good friend Los from the 280 Plus podcast. We're talking about the House of the Dragon from HBO and the Game of Thrones universe. So if you're into that, definitely listen. Also, spoilers for episode 1. So if you haven't seen episode 1 on HBO, Go check that out. And if you don't have an HBO Max subscription, wait like 1 week, and we're probably gonna have a promo code for you to get like a free month or something off there from our friends at HBO. So enjoy this, please, and go subscribe to the Recap and Record YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter. Not sure what other channels I'll be making for that, but Recap and Record coming every week. We're doing House of the Dragon by Game of Thrones and HBO. Please enjoy this. Spoiler ahead. Again, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Enjoy.
But
got it.
What I was interested about in this show, watching it, was how they were going to tackle the time change, right? Because, and what I'm realizing is that obviously you got to put your mind, you got to think.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm realizing is I think the world itself, like in terms of technology, I guess there's almost no technological advances. Like basically in this world, the only thing that changes is the people that are in charge. You know what I mean? Life is life. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, is there going to be like ancient tools and ancient,
right.
like when you look at it, it's like, it's the same. It's like, it's nothing. It don't seem like nothing is like upgraded from Game of Thrones, like, I mean, or downgraded. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're still riding horse and carriage. They're still using swords and shields. So I was like, all right, that's interesting. And that's what you got to put your mindset into. Like, okay, it's not like how our time develops.
Right.
Technology and all that.
Got it. No. So, that makes sense. And they, I guess they do a good job of explaining that, I guess, just based on what they use and show us in the show. But I've never thought about it that way because
I was just thinking about that, like,
because it just, I hate to keep going back to it, but like Breaking Bad takes us over the course of like 6 years, and like things change like drastically in time and culture between the beginning and end of the show. But like here we are 200 years apart, and we've pretty much got the same dirt roads and
the world is the same. It's just like who's running shit, and I mean that's what changes. And I think that's, you got to get rid of that convention of time. Like the time don't really matter. It does matter, but it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Here's something I noticed in the language that I kind of love. Instead of good morning, they say good morrow. As in, like,
okay.
Yeah, that I caught from the mom. So getting into some juicy stuff. This is where my notes pick up.
Okay.
The queen. The queen is making demands. This is it. No more kids. She's laying in the bath. She can't even take a warm bath anymore because they won't even let her raise the temperature. And this is it. She's had like 2 stillborns. 1 or 2 died. Like whatever else happened. This is like the 5th and final. If this baby boy doesn't make it, like that's like she's out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
And so the king agrees, right? The king agrees, and then so then nothing really else going on there. But then his brother we meet. First we meet him on the Iron Throne with Rey. Yeah. And so I thought that was a little interesting. I wasn't sure where he stood, like if he was even allowed to be in the kingdom because she was sneaking in there, sneaks.
Yeah.
And so like that whole interaction was very interesting to me. And then, as it turns out, brother has now been just disgraced. Like they can't give him the job at the bank because he spends all the money. Can't give him this job because he does this. And now he's in charge of the watch, basically the security of the whole town. Right?
He's like the sheriff.
Right.
Like the sheriff.
Right.
Of the town. Yeah.
And so just any given Tuesday night just decides to not really worry about it and takes care of all of the criminals in the town. Oh, you're a thief? Your hand's chopped off.
Yeah,
you raped somebody? Your dick's on the table, baby. Oh, you murdered somebody? Your head's in the basket.
When they went behind the dude, what did they cut off? Because what was on the table? They cut off something. I was like, what is that?
I think it was a sack, bro. I think it was a sack. I'm almost positive.
It looked kind of weird though. Like I kept, this episode, I kept rewinding stuff because I didn't want to miss nothing. I was like, I gotta hear. Oh, what did they say? What is he talking about? Because Game of Thrones. This is why it's the best show. There's not a wasted line of dialogue. Like everything they say matters.
Mm-hmm.
So whether they're introducing people's names, telling stories about people, you got to pay attention to all that because it might come up 3 seasons later. You know what I'm saying? It might come up 5 episodes later. I mean, so. Yeah.
And so
He was judge, jury, and executioner though. Man. He just decided
insanity.
like, yo,
right.
lawless, like
right.
or I'm a
insanity.
I'm RoboCop. You know what I'm saying?
The town will
Judge
fear
Dredd.
gold, is what he said, I believe. The town will fear gold.
Damon Targaryen.
Damon. So then Damon is obviously met at the table with his brother and all of his friends. And I just thought this was freaking hilarious. I think the king calls him his lady wife. The king refers to his wife. Damon hates his wife. Damon's stressed. He can't come. He needs Blue Chew. And he hates his wife. He doesn't want to go home to his wife.
Nope.
And so, but he's just doing it to get them all roused up. And so they're like, hey, man, do us a favor. Don't kill any more of our people. And he's like, all right, well, that's fine, I guess. That's fine. But now he's like, hey, man, the town's safe. The town's safe and everything's safe. Yeah. Like, why are you mad at me?
It definitely gave me blue lives. It gave me like some Blue Lives, like vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like just like the wall of silence. Like, you know what I mean? Like just like how he's just all about law and order. And
right.
It's like, nah, bro. Like, but that's the thing. You can't give a crazy person, like, you can't militarize a crazy person.
Right.
Man. Like, I just think and the king just feels weak to me. He just feels like a weak king.
Right. And he says that to him later. He says he needs him to, but obviously we'll get to that in a second. First of all, I don't know about you, but I've seen TV shows, movies. I have seen so many different renditions and live at the Renaissance Fair, like of jousting.
Oh, man.
And this version of jousting is by far my brand new favorite. I want to see it in every episode.
Yeah, like, yo, so when I watched the recap, they said that they wanted to give us some Game of Thrones action, whatever, and what better way to do that than the tournament? And then, because to do that, they wanted to show us the possibilities of where the show could go. Because they call it, the reason why they joust is like they're playing at war,
right?
You know what I mean? But then it kind of foreshadows some things like, yeah, these people ain't gonna like these people. Because you're killing their knights. You're killing the probably the toughest people a part of these houses.
And so then that was my next question. If you lose and or win in this jousting version of the game, you can just decide to hey, I don't really like that outcome. Draw a sword and smash some dude's fucking head in.
Yeah,
what are we talking?
These sword losers,
right? Right. And so but it happens so quickly. Like the queen's in labor, and then all of a sudden, like the jousters are like killing each other for like no reason at all, and no one's stopping them. I thought like the armed guards were gonna come. I thought they were gonna stop it.
No referee, nobody. Just let it go.
And then homeboy Damien gets on his horse, and he almost loses his head. We almost lost him. And now, do you know, based on your history watching the show, what the purpose of giving your respects or the favor? Yes.
I don't know. I don't know if it's like a kind of like a good luck charm, whatever. But it's almost like
a mini trophy.
It's like a little trophy, but it almost feels like the women are forced to do it, because they didn't want to necessarily give it to those guys that they gave it to, like the guys asked, and it's like it's almost like if a man asks for it, it's like they're expected to give it, like the woman's expected to give it.
Yeah.
Because the first dude was a Baratheon, her cousin, and she even says cousin, and that's you gotta pay attention. She called him cousin,
right?
And he was talking shit. She gave him the favor, and then he loses.
Yeah. And
then almost everybody that got a thing, except for the last dude, they lost. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, because Damon lost.
And friggin' Damon's helmet though, the dragon wings on his helmet. I need that somewhere in this atmosphere of my space.
Oh, now you think
I need it.
Thinking of Halloween now.
That's cool.
I'll never dress up for Halloween.
I think Spirit just opened, so we'll have to see if they have them. So in the middle of jousting, here's the next bullet point: the baby.
Man.
So the king now has a choice to make, dude. Right? So this whole episode, right, is just revolving around and dropping hints left and right. Yeah. Everyone's talking about it. The king has a daughter. The king needs a son. And his wife is pregnant, and this is clearly her last run. And so this is what's on the top of everyone's mind. If she doesn't have a son, what the fuck are we going to do? It falls into Damon's hands. And so we got to make a choice. The
he said
The
you either
Citadel only has.
sacrifice one
Yep.
or lose both. And then when he said that, I was like, oh, I didn't know which one was he sacrificing. And then they said he could save the baby.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, I mean, and basically they do a C-section,
Yep.
like, and
Yep.
probably the first C-section ever. You know
I
what
was
mean?
just
Type
about to say
thing.
the Citadel has one record of a C-section, and now they're performing it, but they
Yeah.
just don't have a way to like contain the blood and everything else. So like he
Yeah.
basically decides to sacrifice his wife in honor of the kingdom.
Yeah, but she was gonna die either. Basically, they were saying she was gonna die
Right,
either
because the
way.
baby was breached, and there was
Yeah,
no
and
way to get it out. So the baby
yeah,
just would have suffocated and then killed her because it died in the canal. Right.
exactly. So
So
yeah, he did have to make that choice.
right, right.
But
It's
it
unfortunate.
kind of made it seem like he had a choice to save one or the
Yep.
other, but like no, it really was like no, she was gonna die either way. So let's try to save this baby.
Yep.
And I thought, I don't think they did a good job of telling us that the baby died, or did they?
Did you? That's my next question.
'cause
Did you hear? Did you hear the cough and the hiccup? There was a cough and a hiccup as soon as they cut it, and that was supposed to be the baby choking, and like that's the number. Like the baby's choking on the fluid from the womb is like the number one cause of like what. That's why you got to burp them. But as soon as they come out, so they get all that fluid out. Because if they choke on it,
So you saying they didn't do that?
so well, apparently not. Because there was a little cough and a little burp,
I thought that was like a sign, like, oh, he's alive.
and as soon as I heard it, I was like, I think that was it.
Yeah, because then when they show him the maester, like holding them, I'm like, all right, that's all right, got to air, and but then once they go into that meeting, that's when you officially know, like, and I'm like, wait up, I was confused. I was like, did the baby die? Like, what the heck? Like,
No, I think we officially find out at the gravesite, right, when they have the bodies, and then they show the little tiny one right after that, right?
Oh, see, I didn't even peep that. Oh,
Yeah. Oh,
no,
yeah. If you go back,
because I thought they had the meeting before, so they had the meeting
after the funeral. Yep.
Okay, see,
Yep.
I did not peep the little.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wasn't paying attention. See?
It's like a mummified queen, and then on a step below it, there's like a little bread loaf size mummification, which is supposed to be the baby.
Back.
Yeah, it's the baby. Yeah.
I didn't peep that. I didn't peep that.
And so,
That's good.
So then we get the fire from the dragon, of course, more dragons in this episode.
Yes.
And then the king realizing that obviously
they had the official seat on the dragon. Like, I don't feel like Daenerys ever got one of those.
Daenerys was always bareback, I thought.
Yeah,
I think she was always
bareback in that dragon.
Yeah.
Like,
And I don't think, you know what else either? I don't think anyone ever commented on her smelling like a dragon.
no one, yeah. In this episode, we found out like they have a smell.
Like they have a distinct smell, right?
It's wash your ass. You smell like dragon.
Right. So then obviously the Damon goes, and I thought when we were getting like the flashbacks of Damon at the brothels, like after the funeral, and then them telling the king what he did, I thought he like murdered everyone in the building or something again. I thought he did something crazy, but instead he just said, king of a day, king of a day,
air for the day,
heir of the day. Yeah.
Air for a day. And then it was like, but that was so fucked up though. That was fucked up
A little bit.
But it's crazy that it got back to the king so fast. Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
and Lil Buddy did his homework. He's like, I got 3 witnesses lined up.
Yeah.
They all confirmed he said it. Get his ass in here.
Yeah. And so that's another thing that's interesting. So, all right. So realizing that the Targaryens are in charge, does that mean that do they have all the, because when they say the 7 kingdoms, are they on every kingdom? Because they said that he had to go back to Runestone, which that's not a location that was widely, talked about, but then his wife was in the Vale. So I'm thinking like, well, does he have, like, do the Targaryens, are they housing every big castle that's in Westeros?
Maybe
Like,
we
kinda,
don't
like, in
know
charge?
that yet.
Because I remember reading something about how, like, there was some type of war where they end up giving all these different kingdoms lordships, but they can't call themselves princes or nothing like that, because you're not Targaryen. But
right?
but like, yeah, that made me think like, yo, where are how many other Targaryens are there? And like, are they housing all these kingdoms?
Maybe because we know they have 10 dragons. They
Okay.
have 10 dragons. They said that in the beginning. And spoiler alert for next episode, there is a clip of a scene where we see at least 7 of them flying with ships. So there's more dragons coming.
Yes.
So okay, did anyone think that maybe pissing off the king's brother, who A, we now know has a temper problem,
Yes.
B, now know he's sexually frustrated, C,
Yes.
hates his wife, D, wants nothing more to be on the Iron Throne, and E knows, I don't even know if that's the right letter, but knows because he listened in on the secret meeting what their plan is and how everyone feels about him in the current moment. Did we really think it was a good idea to send him away pissed off with his very own dragon, and we just thought he would go away and never come back?
Well, I don't see, but I think that's a part. Like, he's a Targaryen. I think that dragon is his. You know what I
Right.
mean? Can he didn't strip him of his like prince? Like, he still is the part of the family. He's just
Right.
not direct line of succession now. But he loves his niece. So like, is he gonna really try to harm his
And that's
niece? Like,
interesting. And that will be an interesting
'cause they
dynamic.
have they're tight. They're
I
tight.
think what we're going to see is him trying to convince her now, like maybe
You don't want to do that. You don't want to do
manipulate her in his favor versus his father, her father.
that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then we kind of get this. Is this a big reveal? We get pretty much the story of the Song of Fire and of Ice and Fire.
Yeah, it's a prophecy. It's like, it's not even like, it's a dream.
Winter
Like, all
is
these,
coming
yeah,
is this whole thing leading up. It passes down from Targaryen king to Targaryen king and queen, etc., etc. And
yeah,
it's basically one day a winter storm will come and it will bring an army that needs a Targaryen to defeat it.
yes,
And so this is what I'm assuming to be correct, is winter in the battle with the Ice King that we see in the Game of
yes,
Thrones.
yes, yeah. The
So,
song, yeah, because that's what song of Fire and Ice, whatever. That is what we were like, what regular Game of Thrones. That's what that is.
right,
I mean, that
right,
is the song of, So,
right.
yeah, it was kind of cool. And then just, yeah, just even that fact, like, even before that, did he announce her officially prior to that conversation or after that conversation?
No, he had made up his mind. Then he
Yeah.
told her what her responsibilities were as queen.
Okay,
And
and then they
then
do
was
the
like
ceremony.
the knighting ceremony,
Okay,
I will trust you and follow you till my death.
yeah,
So yeah, man, and that pretty much wraps up episode 1, right?
yeah, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Where are we going here? Where do you think where's this series taking us? What do you see happen? I know obviously this is in my understanding that this is the downfall of the House of Targaryen. Is that what we're going to see here?
Well, isn't I attention essentially though, because I, like I said, I figured out that they're related to Baratheons and stuff like that. Like, when you look at the family tree, like, Rhaenyra is kind of up there. Like, there's because it's 100 whatever 70 some years. So like, we're gonna get generations.
Right.
We're still gonna get a few more generations
Right.
of Targaryens before it's over. But the
Okay.
Mad King is when it ends. You know what I mean? But
Got it.
I think this is the beginning of the end, though.
Got it. Yep.
It's the start of, yeah, like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think so. I think there's gonna be a lot more character development, you know what I mean? And that's one thing that Game of Thrones did well. Even I just even felt like the way they told the story, like, even if you didn't know what was going on, like, they did a good job of, like, with the prologue, that even though it was short, that did a good thing.
Yep.
And then we're gonna start seeing all these
Quick.
new
In.
locations. We're gonna
Yep.
start seeing these new characters. We're gonna start learning about these houses.
Dragons.
And
Yeah.
that's yeah, and the dragons and stuff like that. And but yeah, obviously, Viserys, no, Damon, he's gonna be on one. We see Viserys, I mean, he got some weird infection on his back. Like, I mean, what the hell was that? So he's about to check soon. Like,
Presumably, right. So is that can we presumably say maybe the end of this season, maybe we see him pass or in not the greatest health and Rey becoming more of a queen figure?
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Because obviously they allude to it, but like, it didn't seem like anything went down. But like, his homeboy Hightower, Otto Hightower, yo, my man really like pimping his daughter off to this man.
I was just about to recap on that, and I was going to ask you if you got that same feeling when he said go to his chambers and keep him company. Like, oh, and wear a dress your mom would wear. And so nothing happened, I don't think, right?
I don't think so. It actually seemed innocent. Good. But it was
it was a little weird of a setup there.
Yeah, and then I thought it might be like a I don't know, because it was weird. Because I think they had the meeting right after that, right? And then so I was thinking like, oh, it's been brought to our attention. I thought it was like maybe even a setup, like, oh, he tried my daughter or something. Like I didn't know what was gonna happen.
Right, like, something. Well, and see, but then I thought when Ray and her had a moment in the garden, she had said something along the lines of, all I want to do is ride dragons and eat cake with you around the world. I thought there might have been a relationship there, maybe.
Yeah. It did feel it, but it seems like she's Rhaenyra's it looks like, or Rhaenyra, is it Rhaenyra or Rhaenyra? I think it's Rhaenyra.
I think you're right.
All right. So she's interested in that Sir Cole dude though. I mean, that or the knight. So
right.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I didn't know what the heck that was. I was like, is this some girl on girl? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah.
You see those mixed babies? You know what I mean? Like they got Valerian, like the black man, his kid. Like I just thought it was cool. I'm like, wow, they really got black characters on here. So I don't know where that's gonna go, but they said that's another house. His name is Valerian, House of Valerian. Okay. So like they said that's another house that we're gonna meet, and like I guess they were like of a great house as well, like, you know what I mean? So yeah, but I'm excited, man. I'm just excited where it's gonna go.
Did you
this guy Damon is crazy. This guy Damon is gonna be
I'm assuming he's like our residential bad guy for the season. You know, I mean, you never really know what he's gonna do or where he's gonna go, right? Because there was no mention, unless I missed it, no mention of Lannisters here. Correct?
No, man. I did not hear not one Lannister name yet. Okay. I don't know if they're around yet, but no.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I think
we did see Rickon Stark though. Old Rickon. Yep. Like Rickard. Was it Rickard? I think it's Rickard.
Yeah. Pledging his allegiance.
Like he's like, you know, down the road. You know what I mean? But I think it's dope, man. I'm excited. I don't know where it's gonna go.
It's going to be great, man. And I mean, as long as they keep the format, you know what I mean? Boobs, dragons, drama. That's all we need.
Does all episodes have to have that for it to be a good episode?
Because no. It's at least 2 out of the 3. At least boobs, 2 out of the 3.
Drama and but no, it's fight. What about fighting though? What about?
Well, that's part of the drama. I consider fighting part of the drama, I guess. We'll lump all that into one. But I mean, hey, I watched previews for next week. Did you happen to see those yourself?
I think I went because no, I don't think I watched the recap and the director's talking about it. But like I think the preview, I think I might have like just breezed through that. But like, no, what's gonna happen? What did you see?
It's just a lot more. I think it was more of a preview for the season, just to get people excited after the first episode. But I think it was just more fire and dragons and battle and everything. Just everything Game of Thrones. I mean, they know the format. They know what they need to do. Like it's not that difficult at this point.
Yeah. So
any closing thoughts? Any final words?
Man, I'm rooting for the daughter. I'm rooting for Rhaenyra. I like her style a little bit. I didn't like her statement though, man, at the funeral where she made it like, oh, maybe I wonder if for a few moments my dad was happy, whatever. And I'm like, bro, like he loved your mom. You know what I mean? Like I get that. Like he's not like he seemed like a nice guy.
He's a real ditzy kind of guy.
Yeah, he looks ditzy in the face. Like he just looks stupid. He got this the lost face. I'm like, bro, somebody gonna get you out of here. But
my brother would kill me? What? You think my brother would kill me for the throne?
Yeah, you see how crazy that dude looks? Yes, he will kill you, bro. So,
right.
So yeah, I'm rooting for that, but I didn't like how she tried to paint her dad real quick. You know what I mean? I was like, nah, sis, like your dad fuck with you.